Hello, what is up? So I've been playing WUCHANG Fallen Feathers and I'm literally totally hooked with it. It's my sort of game because I do like the harder games with like the soul types of games, but I do like a story with it as well. So some of the really old Dark Souls games, I didn't mind them, but I think I do like the more modern Soul games, to be honest. So I mean, that's like just say there's a bit more to it rather than just like slash kill. I'm not saying the old Dark Souls games haven't got any story at all, but I just feel like this game is totally up my street for what I'm looking for. And there's games like Sekiro I really loved. So, and I've actually just purchased the Surge as well, and that was only like $4.49 on the CD keys because I was watching that, and I quite like the look of that. It's like a high tech sort of Dark Souls game. So yeah, I mean, I do sort of lose interest in games that are too easy. I like the harder games, so I like a challenge. So I think that's why it's really hit home, this one. So yeah, I'll definitely recommend that, and there is something I'd want to talk about as well, because so I played it on the 4090. I'm obviously able to use DLSS with frame generation, although you don't need it with a 4090, but it did seem to work pretty well because I'm getting like 100 FPS. Then you just put it on, and you end up with about 180 FPS around that, depending on where you go. On AMD, what I've noticed is I'll load it up. So we just wait for this afterburner to come up. But what I've noticed with it is so I had it on 66 balance, and then as soon as you go to 67, it for some reason it literally knocks the FPS down by about 10. So I found that a bit weird. Although you're still getting over 60, but it's not a stable sort of 70 FPS. It's all dips every now and then depending on where you go. So that's when I sort of start to think about frame generation. So on the 9070 XT, what I found out was you actually can't enable it for some reason. So you're usually, when I put a FSR 4 into a game with OptiScaler, you can usually put it on. So, but I think I know the fix for it, because there is a few files you download, Fakenvapi and DLSS FG. It's like basically turns DLSS frame gen into FSR 3 frame gen, so you can use it. So you can actually use that in the game. So that's like sort of more accessible. So I'm going to see if I can do that. So we'll load it up, because I want to show you the message that comes up. And another thing I found was you do get a bit of flicker, but then it sorts itself out. Alright, so that's what happens. So you get that message, because I did try it on FSR on the presets. So what I've done is I installed OptiScaler. I tried doing it over FSR, but it crashed the game, so that didn't work. So that's the only way I'm able to get FSR 4 in the game. That's why in my video I've done it over DLSS rather than use the FSR inputs. But that's the message you get. So the only way would be to use Lossless Scaling or AMD's fluid motion frames, but I've found with AMD's fluid motion frames you can get some ghosting, which I don't like, and the visuals are not the best on here anyway. I mean, as I said, if you go up to 77 resolution, I didn't see much of a difference, but I wanted to at least get on quality mode anyway, because there's probably a slight difference, but they're not amazing visuals, to be honest, in this game. But it's more about the challenge for me, this game, so I'm really liking that. So what I'd do, so you would need to, because what we're going to do, we're going to install this frame gen. So hopefully, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm thinking that should work, because you put in Fakenvapi into the game folder, so it would be in there here, and you would just place all them files, what I'm about to show you, so you can get that from GIT Hub. I'll put the links in the description. So you just basically copy and paste. So that copy, into the folder. Then this is the other file we need, DLSS FG to FSR, and then you would just place that in there basically. Don't need to copy the readme file, but it don't do any damage. Just saves time, so you can just slap it in, and then that is pretty much it. But first you would need to load the game up. So I haven't tried it yet, but so hopefully there's no curveballs. But when you bring up that menu, it should give you the option, and then you will probably have to restart just to activate the frame gen, I think. You had to do that with Opti frame gen, because that is another option, Opti, but I found this is a lot better if you can get it to work. So hopefully there's no issues with it. Like so, yeah, let's put it to TSR. Now let's put it to that. Oh, that is interesting. So, how's it done that? Oh wow, so that's actually... Oh, that's interesting. Oh right, so maybe, because I did remember this on Alan Wake, it would crash unless I installed the frame gen mod. So that is what you want. Yeah, so like I said, you got to restart. Alright, so this would be the best way. It's actually bad, because I didn't really want to use DLSS inputs on this game, because it weren't literally giving me that option. So you can put that on. So we just restart it. Alright. But it was definitely crashing when I used 2 instead of 1 when I was installing OptiScaler. So that's worked even better than I thought it would, actually. That would be more logical, because some games you will need to... It's very, very rare, but I think it was in Alan Wake they would crash unless I installed this mod for the frame generation. So this seems to be one of them games. Right, so let's see if we can at least load in. And the other thing I noticed is on the 4090 it wouldn't give me the option of FSR, which was a bit weird, because it's not FSR 4. So it's like you don't even get the option for that on NVIDIA. So I found that a bit weird, because it is open source 3.1. So I'll just load in. So it's got FSR 4 on anyway, so literally it detects your GPU sometimes when you activate it, but I did activate it already, so that's probably why it's done it even on FSR inputs. So let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's literally got it on. So I'm usually getting about 60. I'm sure that's on, is it? It depends where you go, really. Oh no, it's not even on. So the FPS must have jumped up on it. Yeah, so you're getting about 70 or 60 on the 67. Again, the image quality looks very, much like DLSS 4 when I'm comparing it. So what I'll do, if you go 66, it will knock the FPS up a bit usually, although it hasn't it. Maybe it takes a couple of seconds to kick in, but you don't get I mean, you literally don't get much of a visual difference anyway, if I'm being honest. The settings on there with this resolution scale are pretty weird, to be honest. Anyway, we put that on, and that, yeah, see, so that's literally worked. So that should be the way to go, to be honest. It definitely feels alright. I'm not feeling any input though. That Fakenvapi file helps with all that, I think. So this is the last boss I've done. I had some fun with this feathered priest. I mean, that is the way. That is the best way to get frame generation in the game, I think. So, especially if it actually gets FSR working. So I imagine that is why it was crashing, because it needed that mod on top of it. Some games can be a bit weird like that. Yeah, because usually I don't use frame generation in games like this where timing is very precise. I mean, you had a bit of a stutter there, but you will get that. I mean, Unreal Engine is literally known for that. I did get the odd stutter on the 4090 sometime when you're going into new areas, but I'll be honest, it's been very smooth for me most of the time, to be honest. These spears. These people with spears, they can be a bit annoying. Yeah, so you get the odd star. So I think AMD, obviously they need to release a driver, but this will definitely get you by while you're waiting for, because I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they're taking so long with it, because I think this game has actually got FSR 3.1 anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's very playable for me. So yeah, that is the best way to play that, using that mod. So I will put the mods in the description what I've used, but I'm pretty sure this game has got FSR 3.1. Do that another time. Alright, yeah. I haven't loaded this up for a bit on the 90 XT. Yeah, so it's got 3.1. So all they need to do is release a driver to put FSR 4 in the game, really. So hopefully that comes within the next week or something, because I know some people don't like the game, but for me it's really a good game for what I like. As I said, I like a challenge and all that, so it's right up my street. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.